Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talking Class with Roland Ish. I'm Matt, and in this video, I'm going to break down all the features you get levels 1 through 20 playing a fighter in D&D's 5.5e or the 2024 Player's Handbook. If you haven't done so already, check out our Talking Class playlist. There you're going to find videos similar to this one breaking down the features you get levels 1 through 20 for all the other classes. In addition to that, you're going to find a separate video that breaks down each class's subclass options. So check those out. You want to play a fighter? So we're going to dive right in. Your primary ability is actually an option here. It's strength or dexterity. It's pretty unique for the fighter. We'll get into that and why that's an option in a minute. Your hit point die is higher than average. It's a D10 per fighter level. This is because we need you healthy and on the battlefield. Your saving throw proficiencies are preset at strength and constitution. So you need to know that if you plan on building a dexterity-based fighter, because you won't have the saving throw proficiency in dexterity. Now you can get it, but you'll need a feat to do so. And there's a few options I think that are available that would allow you to gain a saving throw proficiency. So maybe you do that. For skill proficiencies, you get to choose two between acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, history, insight, intimidation, persuasion, perception, and survival. All of these have its place. Animal handling, are you going to ride a steed? Are you going to go on horseback and fight that way? You might need animal handling checks. So there are good uses for each of these, so choose wisely. For weapons, you get it all. Simple and martial weapons, you get to pick whatever you want to use. Same thing with armor. You're proficient in light, medium, heavy, and shields. And don't forget, holding a shield adds +2 to your armor class. So it might be worth having medium or heavy armor, but holding a shield as well. We'll talk about some more options right now because I want to dive into starting equipment and make an observation I want to share. There are 3 options here. Option A is going to give you chainmail as armor. It's a little bit heavier. A great sword. That's a weapon you need to wield with 2 hands. So right off the bat, option A for starting equipment leads me to feel like this is for the strength-based fighter because you need the strength for the chainmail and the great sword and you get other things. A flail, 8 javelins, a dungeoneer's pack, and 4 gold. Option B, I then would say, would be for the dexterity-based fighter. So if that's what you're looking to play, maybe you take studded leather. It's not going to be as high of an armor class as the chainmail, but it also doesn't make any noise and doesn't impose disadvantage on your stealth checks. It's an option. You also get a scimitar, short sword, longbow, 20 arrows, a quiver to hold them, a dungeoneer's pack, and 11 gold. Of course, you forgo all this and just take 155 gold pieces, work with your DM on exactly what starting equipment you want to use. You'll have this awesome table. This is both in the physical copy of the Player's Handbook and the digital, which I'm sharing. This is always going to break down some cool features for each class. At what level does your proficiency bonus increase? And here it's levels 5, 9, 13, and 7. The class feature column, these are all links, so you can click any of them for quick reference. There's the second wind column. We're going to go over what that is. It starts at level 1, and it increases at levels 4 and 10. You also get weapon mastery. It starts at level 1. We'll talk about what that is in a second. You start with 3, then it increases to 4 at level 4, 5 at level 10, 6 at level 16. It's good to know and have that visual as we now talk about these things. At level 1, you pick your fighting style. In chapter 4, there are fighting style feats that you need to choose from. The book is recommending that you take defense, but take a look at those and choose for yourself. Whenever you gain a fighter level, so at every level up, you can swap this out. So if you choose something now at level 1 and you're really not feeling it, by the time you get to level 2, change it. Chapter 5 breaks down each one. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to pick out the about 2. Let's talk about blinds fighting. This one's my favorite one. You gain a blind sight for 10 feet. And this is really cool because blind sight within range, 10 feet, you can see anything that isn't behind total cover, like a wall, even if you have the blinded condition or are in darkness, like magical darkness, because that's capitalized. Don't let the rules lawyers try and win this one. They are talking about the spell. Moreover, in that range, you can see something that has the invisible condition. So to be able to see with being blinded or in total darkness, or something that's invisible, that is a great benefit to have. Hags can turn invisible and they are rough. So to be able to see them is great. You just have to be within 10 feet. So this might require you to move around a little bit to spot check for stuff, but I think it's worth taking. The book had recommended defense. While you're wearing light, medium, or heavy armor, so any armor, you gain a +1 bonus to it. Just for wearing armor, you get an extra bonus. I'll take it. There are others listed. Feel free to check those out and choose for yourself. Next, at level 1, you get Second Wind. This is a bonus action, and you can use it to regain hit points equal to 1d10 plus your fighter level. So here at level 1, it's 1d10 plus 1. And you can use that at any point. It's a bonus action. That might save you from having to utilize your potions. This is a great bonus action to take. And like we saw in the chart, your Second Wind is going to grow at 2 different levels, 4 and 10. So keep that in mind. You can use this feature 2 times at level 1. You regain 1 expended use when you finish a short rest. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay, you also have Weapon Mastery at level 1. Think of this like special training for certain types of weapons. You're basically an expert with certain types of weapons. So you get to pick 3 kinds of simple or martial weapons of your choice to be a master in. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can practice some drills and change one of them. So if you're not really feeling it, or you're getting into a situation where you know you're going to fight something like a construct and you want bludgeoning, okay, maybe you take a look at weapons that do that and see what their mastery property is. All right, so that's very cool feature to have, and we saw that it grows as well. So at level 4, you gain another weapon mastery for a total of 4, a total of 5 at level 10, and a total of 6 at level 16. That is really cool. And if you're not sure what mastery property is, or what weapon mastery is, it is actually broken down in chapter 6 of your player's handbook, Equipment. You'll find it under Mastery Properties, and they're all listed here. Here's how it works. Every weapon, you're going to roll your d20 to see if you hit. If you hit, you're going to roll the damage die. In addition to the damage, weapons that have mastery property will do another thing, okay? And they're all listed here. I'm just going to pick out 2 of my favorites. I'm a big fan of Cleave. If you hit a creature with a melee attack roll using this weapon, like a battle axe, you can make a melee attack roll with that weapon against a second creature that is within 5 feet of the first creature you attacked, but that is also in your reach. A battle axe has a reach of 5 feet. If you're fighting an enemy right in front of you, great. You can't cleave to the one behind him because the one behind him is 10 feet away from you, right? But if they're side by side and it's still within my weapon reach, I can essentially cleave through it. It'll look like I'm just sliding through, hitting an enemy, and then hitting the one next to him. So mechanically, you'll make an attack roll for your first target. If you hit, roll your damage. You'll use Mastery to cleave. This means that swing you just made went through to the second person. Make a second attack roll. The damage will be a little bit less though, right? Typically, when you make an attack roll with a weapon, you roll the damage die plus the appropriate modifier. When you cleave and hit that second creature, you do not add the modifier. You just roll the damage die. You can, I should say, unless your modifier is negative. And I don't know that you would have a negative strength or dex as a fighter. That would just be silly. So that's probably not going to happen to you. You can make this extra attack only once per turn. So in later levels, as you gain extra attacks, that is still 1 turn. So it's not like you're going to cleave, second attack, cleave again, and keep hitting these guys. It only happens once per turn. The other one I really like a lot is Sap. You hit a creature with this weapon, the creature has disadvantage on its next attack roll before the start of your next turn. It's as if you dazed it for a second, and that's why it has disadvantage on its next attack roll. Take a look at those. They're all great options, but remember, you have 3 weapons to choose. At level 2, you get Action Surge. On your turn, you can take 1 additional action, except for the magic action. So let's say you use the attack action. Okay, make your attack roll. Action Surge, you get another action. I'm going to take the attack action and attack again. You don't have to choose attack. You can dash, attack, dash. It's another action. The reason magic is excluded is because it has its own rules. Okay. If you use an action to cast a leveled spell, you could cast a cantrip as a bonus action, but not a leveled spell. You can't do leveled spell as an action and a bonus action. The reverse is also true. You can cast a bonus action leveled spell, let's say second level Misty Step, the teleport. It's a bonus action spell. It's level 2. I can do that as my bonus action, but then my action needs to be something else or a cantrip. Okay. So I could literally like Misty Step, bonus action Misty Step, get away from my target. Maybe it's too close to me. Action, cantrip. So keep that in mind as you do that. That's why the magic action is excluded. Once you use your action surge, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest. Starting at level 17, so much higher campaigns and adventures, you can use this twice before you have to take a long rest. Also at level 2, you get Tactical Mind. This means when you fail an ability check, you can expend a use of your second wind to roll that 1d10 from your second wind, but add it to the ability check that you just failed, potentially turning that failure into a success. At level 3, you pick your fighter subclass. There are 4 options: the Battle Master, the Champion, the Eldritch Knight, and the Psy Warrior. I'm not going to break those down here, but I will have a separate video called 5.5e Fighter Subclasses, where I will break down what you get in all 4 of those. At level 4, you get an ability score improvement or a feat. To remind you, ability score improvement means you get to take one of your abilities like Strength, Dex, Con, one of those, Intelligence, Charisma, Wisdom. Pick one. Increase your score by 2 points. Or pick 2 of those and increase each one by 1 point. You could forgo that and choose a feat. So Chapter 5 breaks down all the feats. Take a look at those. But no, you're not choosing an Epic Boon feat at level 4. Just keep in mind on the ability score improvement that as you get past 10 for an ability score, every even number increases your modifier. So if you have a 10, you don't have a modifier, it's 0. If your score is a 12, it's a +1. 14, it's a +2. 16, +3, and so on. So if you have a, let's say your ability score is 12 and you're at a +1 right now, and you're going to increase 2 of your ability scores by 1 point, you're going to go from 12 to 13. Your modifier does not change. It will when you do 14, so maybe at a later ability score improvement, you do it again, and now you're going to see your modifier change. If your score is on an odd number, give it a point. It'll change and increase when you make it an even number. What's really cool is that the classes only really get 4 opportunities for the ability score improvement or feat, except for you. You get 6 opportunities. This happens here at level 4, level 6, 8, 12, 14, and 16. At level 5, you get extra attack. This means when you take the attack action, you actually attack twice. At level 5, you also get Tactical Shift. Whenever you activate Second Wind with your bonus action, you can move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. This is awesome. So not only can you second wind and maybe heal yourself a little bit, but also move and not get hit. That's going to keep you on the battlefield because that's where we need you, fighter. At level 9, you get Indomitable. This means if you fail a saving throw, you can re-roll it with a bonus equal to your fighter level. You're getting this at level 9. So that's a roll +9. You have to use the new roll, even if it's lower than the first one. And you can't use this feature again until you finish a long rest. You can use this feature twice before you need to take a long rest, starting at level 13, and you can use it 3 times before needing to take a long rest, starting at level 17. At level 9, you also get Tactical Master. This means when you attack with a weapon whose mastery property you can use, for example, if you have mastery on a battle axe and you attack with it, you can swap out Cleave, its mastery property, for Push, Sap, or Slow instead. So it gives you a little bit of versatility without having to change the mastery weapon. So pretty cool feature to have. At level 11, unique to the fighter, you get 2 extra attacks. This means every time you take the attack action, you get 2 extra attacks. That's 3 attacks in 1 turn. At level 13, you get studied attacks. This means when you make an attack roll against a creature and you miss, you have advantage on your next attack roll against that creature before the end of your turn. So potentially, it's like you learned something from your failure. At level 19, you get an Epic Boon. This is found in Chapter 5, and the book recommends the Boon of Combat Prowess. Take a look at those. They're broken down for you. I'm not going to read them all, but let's check out Combat Prowess, the one the Player's Handbook recommended. It says you take an ability score increase by 1 to a max of 30, but the max is 20, isn't it? Yep. there are certain abilities or magic items that could increase your ability score beyond 20. This would stack on that. You also get Peerless Aim. This means when you miss an attack roll, you hit instead. Once you use this benefit, you can't use it again until the start of your next turn. Not once per day, not you got to do long rest, once per turn. So if I miss, I hit instead. On my next turn, I can use it again if I need to. That's why it's an epic boon. It's pretty awesome. At level 20, you get 3 extra attacks. This means when you take the attack action, you get 3 more for a total of 4 attacks on that turn. Can you imagine using an action surge to then again attack 4 times? That's how that works. Now remember, at level 17, we saw that action surge, we get 1 of them, but we get 2 uses at level 17. So here at level 20, I could take the attack action surge, take the attack action, and then on my next turn, I can take the attack action, and then action surge a second time and take the attack action. So I can keep doing that. You can only do the action surge once per turn, and you'll only have 2 uses beyond level 17. But the point is that you can beat the crap out of stuff, and hooray for that. That is what you get levels 1 through 20 playing a fighter. Hey, have you liked this video yet? Can you do that? It's right over there. I'll wait. Thanks. By doing that and, commenting, it's going to feed the algorithm. It's going to put our content in front of more people who might be interested in a different opinion on D&D stuff, or somebody learning how to play. Would really appreciate you. Drop a comment. What kind of fighter are you interested in building? I'd love to hear it. Don't forget to check out our Talking Class playlist for the 5.5e fighter subclasses, where I'll be breaking down your subclass options you get at level 3. Until then, have fun building your fighter, and we'll see you at the table.